Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Job Help Hotline. My name is William Molina, and I'll be your host today for our program. Uh, there's a lot of people out there looking for jobs, and there's still a lot of competition in the market. If you're looking to find skills and what's necessary in order for you to be able to compete and obtain a job, then we have a special program that we want to introduce to you today. We have the Greater West Town Training Partnership with us today, and our guest is Danja Magaskin. How are you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here. Danja Magaskin is one of the technical instructors for the program, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yes, and he's going to tell us about Greater West Town. I have a few questions, and during this broadcast, if you have any questions, please feel free to call in on the number on your screen there, and we'll be glad to take those questions and answer them as best as possible. So, Danja, why don't you begin by telling us what is the Greater West Town Training Partnership?
Well, we are an organization that provides job training for people who are looking to change careers. And if you have no experience, say you want to become a woodworker, you like working with your hands and want to get into that field, you can come to us. We'll teach you, give you the skills, and help you get placed on the job.
That sounds really interesting. Now, when you say give the skills, now in woodworking, tell us a little bit about what that entails. Like when you're saying skills, what type of skills can a person learn when they're there?
Well, one of the things is you got to know how to use power tools, got to know how to measure, got to know how to read a ruler, tape measure. And so we teach you things like that. We teach you basics in what you need to know to be able to make like cabinetry or furniture, things like that.
Okay, so a person comes in the first day, what happens?
Well, the very first day, actually, we give them a tour of the shop and kind of give them an idea of what it is they'll be learning.
Okay, so who qualifies for a program like this? Like
any adult 18 and up, any man or woman who is capable of working, being on their feet, anyone who's interested in learning machinery and working with power tools.
So, okay, woodworking, a lot of people look at carpentry and they're thinking about, the simple basic carpentry. Now,
Yeah.
I believe that woodworking is a little more intense because you guys manufacture products, don't you? Like different type of products they learn how to do?
Yeah, different types of products.
Such as?
Picture frames, cabinets, chairs, furniture components, things like that. And so one of the things, like you mentioned carpentry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, where carpenters look at a wall, the skeleton, framing, we look at what goes in the building, like the furniture components. So we're looking at, a 64th of an inch versus a quarter of an inch that maybe a contractor will look at when they're trying to build out a wall. So we're looking at that micro measurement.
So it's
Yeah.
very detailed work you're talking about here. Now, I have a picture on the screen here. I see this is, you guys work in an actual like industrial shop, am I right?
Yeah, it's a fully functional shop. We have all the equipment that any major shop that does production would do.
Okay, what was he going on the
So
screen here? What is she
Marissa
doing
there, what she's doing, she is sanding parts to a table. She's working on a stretcher for a table, and that element. One of the things that you do look at is kind of finishing and what goes into that. So that's like hours worth of sanding she's doing by hand.
And so we here, I see somebody's putting
So
something together.
so that's Dominique. He's screwing in, or actually making pilot holes so he can screw in and attach the legs to the top of his table.
So if you're watching the program, you see that in the background there's an actual industrial shop. You see some heavy machinery around there. It looks pretty interesting.
Yeah. And Mary there, she's laying out some veneer. So one of the things we work with is we work with solid wood, engineered wood like plywood, panel products, and veneer too. And so she's like matching her, working on a panel that she's going to make and looking at how the veneer looks.
So if you have questions and want to know more about the Woodworkers Training Program, you can call that number on your screen, 312-563-9570. And they have orientation, I believe, every week at 8:45. Am I correct?
Yep.
Okay. And so if you're sitting on your couch wondering, what is it that I'm going to do? What direction am I going in? Where can I get the skills that are necessary in order to be effective in the job market, well, there you have it. It's right there on your screen. You call that number right now. What's the criteria for a person in this program? Like what's required for me to be a participant? Do I need a high school diploma?
No, not at all. Just need to be 18 and up. You don't need your diploma or a GED. You have to test at a 6th grade reading and math level. That's one of the things. You have to be able to pass a drug test also. And you have to actually be either unemployed or maybe you have a part-time job, because this training we provide for you free at no cost, provided, you're earning a low income.
So that's great. So if you're worried about math, I know a lot of people worry about math and English, and you've been out of school for a while.
Yeah.
You guys, I believe there's a component, you guys do some remediation there?
We do. So part of the class, you're in the shop actually, hands-on experience. But outside of that, we give you shop math, print reading, there's a computer course, language learning course, because many of the people in our program, English is not their first language. Mm-hmm. And so what we focus on, like these types of skills that will help you with your resume, help you with job interviews, things like that. And there's a job readiness course too, which is a major component. We actually have one of the finest job readiness teachers in the program.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's great. That's wonderful. So if you're sitting out there, all these wonderful things that they're talking about are just at your grasp. All you need to do is pick up your phone, dial 312-563-9570, and you can make it start happening right now. So don't sit there and wait. Give a call to Greater West Sound Training Partnership. At this moment, I have with us a guest that's one of the students, I believe, from the program, right?
Hi, yeah, my name is Damian Thomas.
Okay, Mr. Damian Thomas. So tell us, you're actively enrolled in the program now, I believe, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your experience there and how is it for you?
I really like the program because I was looking to change my career, and I came across the program on the internet, and I was really interested in the precision that you get with the wood, because normally I do construction work, like you guys were talking about earlier, but I was just so interested and awed by the precision and just the fine cuts and the tuning that you have.
So how's it feel? You're working inside of an industrial shop. What type of machinery do you encounter on a daily basis?
Oh yeah, I'm really used to like just regular drills, maybe some hand saws, but table saws I was interested in, and I was really interested in the CNC machine. That's amazing. I really like that. So that's what I was really interested in.
That's good. So you feel what do you feel is going to be at the end of this program? What do you think the end result is going to be?
I think that I'm going to be more precise in my measuring, with my measuring skills, which is going to, help my business along, as well as get a job. I'm looking to just learn more and more about woodworking, and I think that this program can really help me to do that.
That's good. So the program's very beneficial, and so you've been exposed to CNC, you said?
Yeah, CNC. I just started that machine, I think yesterday. No, not yesterday. This Friday. But I learned a lot about it today, and I really enjoyed it.
That's good. So you're receiving the exposure you need. You feel you're having the skills that you need, right?
Definitely.
And how are your teachers? Are they doing a great job?
The teachers are great. The teachers are awesome. It's like a close-knit family. That's what I like about it. And it's you have small classes, so you get individual instruction. So I think that's really good. That's really good. That lets me know that I'm gonna come out of there actually knowing something.
That's a good thing. That's a good feeling. So if you're listening, this is an actual student from the class. There is opportunity. They are actively looking for students to participate in the program. We have the number on your screen, 312-563-9570. And you can just start, like he's working on CNC, and they supply, according to Mr. Gaskin, they supply transportation money for you. They helped you to get a job. I mean, and the job readiness, which we talked about. So you learn about resumes, interviewing skills, and so on. So this is a great opportunity. Don't sit there and let it pass you by. And I know we always get the question, what about women in woodworking, are they able to get into this program? Is it something they can do? Well, the evidence is right here sitting next to me right now. I have a young lady here. Your name is?
Kiana Smith.
Kiana Smith. Okay, and you are one of the students also, right, in the program?
I am.
So tell me, how's your experience been there?
It
as a
has been
participant?
amazing, absolutely amazing, so much more than I expected.
So is it the environment, is it hard for you, or is it something that you feel something you really can do, something that you can grow in, something that's going to lead you somewhere?
Absolutely. I made a conscious decision to change my life and do something that I enjoyed doing for a change. But the teachers are always there, ready to answer questions. It's not a basic shop that we work in by any means. Any tool that you can think of in a major production shop is it's accessible to us.
That sounds great. Now, you guys work on projects, right? Have you worked on
Yes.
any projects yet?
Yes, we have.
What type of projects?
Well, it's funny because what we thought would be a box has totally changed into something different. The project that we're working on right now is a table. And it teaches us the building blocks of furniture. You start off with one step and it leads you to something completely different. So it shows you the versatility.
So, what led you to the program? You were home, a friend told you about it. How did this all start and how did it happen?
Well, I was working as a pricing analyst, and I heard about this program from a neighbor.
Okay.
And it was a flyer. And, woodwork, I've always liked to be creative. I've always been good with numbers. So when I saw it, I thought that it was a great idea. And when I called, they just confirmed everything for me. It was the right step for me.
Okay, so what is your expectation once you finish the program?
My expectation is I plan to learn everything that they have in this program to offer, but I know that won't be sufficient in being a master woodworker. So from my completion with the program, I want to find work in the field and just build my skills to make myself more marketable.
So if there's a woman out there watching the program right now, what would you tell her?
You can do it. You can do it. This is by no means a man's job. This is, if this is something that you want to do, just like anything that you may want to do, I say go for it. You spend more than 60% of your life working. Why not work doing something that you love to do?
That's the great reason why you should pick up your phone right now and give a call to the Greater West Town Training Partnership Wood Products Manufacturing Training Program. They're located at 500 North Sacramento Boulevard in Chicago, Illinois. If you're surrounding suburbs, anywhere in Chicago, north, south, east, or west, yes, you can come on in and start your new career. It's an opportunity for you to do something different that's going to open doors for you. So give a call to Greater West Town Training Partnership. Somebody will be there to take your call, to give you more information, more in-depth information. Also provide an opportunity for you to come into an orientation where you can actually see what takes place. Now, when people come in, Daniel, for orientation, so during orientation, basically what happens?
So that's when you actually start the application process. You fill out the application. You get a tour, like I said, of the shop. You meet some of the other instructors. You get to see if there's a class in session and they're in the shop. You get to see what they're working on and what they're doing. And then we kind of take it from there. There's, like I said, some assessments that we give. And then we invite you to come in for an interview. And if everything works out and we feel like you're a good fit for the program, then at that point, that's when you would have to take the drug test. So.
Okay, so you heard there's no cost, right?
No cost.
No cost. And the young man that was here was talking about CNC.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about CNC, because a lot of people out there might not know what CNC is, and others do know, and they want to know how far you go with CNC.
Yeah, so the CNC machine is CNC stands for computer numerical or numerically controlled, and it's a machine that does some of the automation in processing wood, in our case, wood components. So you would have, say you're doing a mass production, a big run of a number of components for like cabinets. You would cut some of those by hand, or a CNC machine could do all of that cutting and drilling for like hinges, door handle locations, things like that. So it's It's automated. It deals with like some computer programming, XYZ, axis, coordinating, things like that. Yeah.
You know, and nowadays with automation,
Mm-hmm.
things are advanced. I mean, you go to a store now and you see a lot of computers taking the place of people.
Yeah.
And we can't sit back and live like the Flintstones in the time of the Jetsons. I mean, you have to really have the skills that are necessary and have those computer skills. And there's also computer class in the woodworkers program.
Yeah,
right?
so the computer class covers more some word processing, things like that, so we can help people who maybe don't know how to do a resume and want to work on it, be able to work on their resume. Also, the print reading class is a major component where they actually, it overlaps with what's going on in the shop, and they learn some of that programming for like, we even get into like a little 3D modeling as well with that.
That sounds pretty interesting. That
Yeah.
sounds pretty advanced. So I see that I have a picture up here now. Everybody, the students that were here were talking about how the instructors were really informative and helpful. I see there's a group here right now.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Well, Charlie there, he's an instructor in the black apron there, and what he's doing, he's actually he's showing them how they're gonna mount the tabletop to the legs, and kind of showing them what they need to look for as far as like the finish on the legs, because those legs were solid wood, and there's some wood blocks there you could see. They're just some techniques we use so that the mounting height of the legs on the top can be consistent all the way around.
So they're actually making a piece of furniture, which is great. It looks pretty decent. Looks pretty nice there.
Yeah.
So they learned the concept of how this is done. And here we see, I believe there's another shot here where I believe they're teaching how to operate a certain machine.
Yeah. So Doug there is teaching them how to use the horizontal drill press, and that's a machine that we used actually to drill the locations for the dowel rods that they're using in some of the construction of the table. So like I said, I mean, from that picture you can see there, it's hands-on experience, but what we do, we give you demonstrations on all the tools, like their main purpose, what they do, and how to safely operate them, and then from there, you take it from there.
And when you use terms like dowel rod and so on, or what did you say it was? Dowel something there?
Dowel rods, yeah.
Dowel rods,
I mean, that's,
okay.
if you don't know and you want to know, you got to come to the program to find out.
Yeah, because you're talking. You learn the lingo, you learn the language,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of things that you have to learn in order. So you can see, I'm not a woodworker, so I have to ask the professional. So they teach you how to work with different types of tools and so on. I see here it looks like just all these tools.
Lots of different stuff there. You got like gauges that we use to measure the thickness of wood. You got protractors, different types of screwdrivers, mallets, hacksaw, wrenches, things like that. So that actually is a picture of our tool shed. And, when you're a student there, you don't have to bring any of the tools. All the materials are provided for you. And that's just an example. And it looks, it's very well organized and, meticulously laid out. And believe it or not, it stays that way. That wasn't just taken just for the sake of that picture. That's how that wall looks pretty much every day.
So if you like working with tools, there's plenty of tools to work with here.
Plenty of tools.
And talking about tools, one of the most important tools is to have job readiness skills, how to interview, how to talk to an employer.
Yes.
I believe you guys show that, and you teach how to complete a resume. And I want to get back to the interview questions. When they ask you questions, and a lot of people fear, like when they ask you, tell me a little bit about yourself. Why should I hire you? Why do you feel you're the person for the job? What are you going to contribute to our company? There's just so many different questions that you get. And there's a job readiness workshop here. I have the information here where basically you do workshops where people actually are interviewed by employers.
Yes.
And
yes.
So that's actual employers that work with you. And I believe you guys have an advisory committee also where employers
We
participate
do.
in the program.
We have an advisory committee that consists of shop owners from the Chicago, and the Chicagoland area. They contribute a great deal of information as far as like current market trends, what's going on out there today, in terms of also like just products that they're using, just the latest stuff that's going on. We also give them input into what our students are learning and placement stats and things like that. So
Yeah, and you have some beautiful shots here. This is what they call, is this what they call millwork or something? Is this?
some of that is millwork, yeah. So a lot of furniture making and woodworking deals with millwork, which they're built-in components to like the walls and the framing there of that kitchen, and even things like, you know, there's some materials that look like stone that woodworkers work with too, as well. So sometimes they work with wood, sometimes they work with a little metal, and do kind of get into everything. So that's a kitchen, yeah.
And this
that's
is kind of
really
like
built
high-end
out.
furniture, so
That is,
you have companies
yeah.
that are high-end and
We do,
lower and
yeah.
lower skill.
Yeah.
And here we see a really nice cabinet. Now, this is something that you guys probably could do right there in the shop, am I right?
Oh yeah. That's a good example of something that we can do. A contemporary, nice, clean, sleek design with some solid wood and some veneer and kind of an open shelving underneath. Yeah,
It's very
really
modern, very nice. And this is what's an example of some of the work that's done there.
Yeah. So this is a desk for one of our employers actually that we've gotten people placed at. That's a project they worked on. You can see it's actually a repurposed portion of bowling alley.
Yeah,
floor,
yeah, you can see the
Turned that
arrows,
into a desk.
arrows on top there. Pretty interesting. It's pretty unique. This is really nice here. Tell us a
Yeah,
little
just
about this shot.
Built-in bookcase, like I said, millwork. So what happens is, you know, part of what we teach is are things that would help you get placed in a shop like that that does nice work like that.
So this is some real serious professional looking furniture. And I see this is the walls here, I believe, are
Yeah, so they use some reclaimed wood for that, and it's office space. And even things like the desks there, and even the chairs. Their employers, they're like some of the nation's largest seating companies that do restaurant booth seating and stuff. They're located here in Chicago. There's a lot of manufacturing still here in the city. And this is an example of a company that does like interior build outs. Yeah.
this is, I believe, from one of the companies, I believe, Lining Lee Harps, right?
Yeah, so believe it or not, woodworkers make instruments as well. And that's an example. That's a harp. Lots of those components are wood. Yeah, one of the nation's only harp manufacturers is based here in Chicago.
So there's a lot of beautiful things that you can do in the woodworking industry. And so if you're sitting there, don't let this opportunity pass you by. Give a call, and I'm going to put the number on the screen over here so you guys can make that phone call. 312-563-9570, and somebody be ready to take your call.
That's right.
Now, I have a quick question for you. What
Yeah.
about, okay, I'm looking and I say, well, I got a background. What happens to a person that has a background?
Well, you're in luck. We don't have issues with people with backgrounds. Sometimes it is on a case-by-case basis, but don't let that be a deterrent. Come on in, and like I said, we get people hired all the time, people with backgrounds.
So you get the support, and I believe you have employers also that you have some forgiving employers, and you
Yeah.
have employers that will give you an opportunity to believe in second chances. So it's a great opportunity. If you have barriers, then you need to find the tools in order to overcome those barriers and be able to obtain a job. So to the Greater West Sound Training Partnership, they offer the Woodworkers Training Program, which is an excellent program, as you've seen, and we presented to you today. They do a lot of wonderful work. You learn to use all different types of tools. You work in an actual industrial shop. You guys offer placements, so you also, after they graduate, you place them on a job, right?
Yeah, actually, so we have a job developer on staff, and our job developer is very good at getting people placed. What we look at is we take factors into consideration, like where you reside, whether or not you're on public transportation, or whether or not you have a car, how far you are willing to travel to get to a job. So what ends up happening, we look at all that, we look at your skills, and we help find you the best match of employer, where to go afterwards. So it's a very important component.
So there you go. No excuses. You can't sit on your couch and complain and say, no, I can't do this. I have nowhere to go. I have no one to help me. The doors are open. Make that phone call today. Don't let the future not start for you. Make that move and make changes that are going to help you to obtain a job, to obtain a skill. And the beautiful thing about it is this is something you can take with you for the rest of your life. It can help you at home, and it can help you on a career in the future. So I want to thank our guests for being here today. I want to thank you, Mr. Don McGaskin, for being here. I want to thank both of our guests that were here, also our students from Greater West Sound. So give a call, take care, have a great evening, and thank you for giving us the time.